All right. Thank you for joining us for this week's Weekly Wednesday presentation on the Association for Vision Rehabilitation and Employment, also known as AVRE. This presentation is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Otsego County Office for the Aging Facebook page and to our county website. I ask that everyone except the presenter keep your videos turned off and that you remain muted unless you have questions. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions as we move through the presentation. You can also use the chat feature if you prefer, and I will ask the questions for you. My name is Alicia Chase. I am Otsego County's long-term care coordinator. I supervise the Otsego County New York Connects program, and for those who are not familiar, New York Connects is the connection for all long-term services and supports. While my office is under Office for the Aging, we are unique in that we are able to help anyone of any age who is looking for help navigating the complicated long-term care systems. We can help friends, family, caregivers, clients who are looking for information and assistance, help with referrals, and even application assistance. If you are unsure if we're able to assist you, please do not hesitate to reach out. We do also have a New York Connects partner with the Independent Living Center. Those wishing to reach out to me can do so by calling Office for the Aging at 607-547-4232. At this time, I'm going to turn the program over to Shauna with the AVRE program for today's presentation.
Thank you, Alicia. Like Alicia said, my name is Shauna Armstrong, and I work for AVRE, the Association for Vision Rehabilitation and Employment. I am a certified low vision therapist and a certified vision rehab therapist there. I've been there for a little over 6 years. Our agency has been around for about 90 years, so we have some longevity. Our office is located in downtown Binghamton, and we actually service a 9-county catchment area. So we service Broome County. I'm going to look because I don't want to forget any of them. Broome County, Chemung, Shenango, Portland, Delaware, Otsego, Schuyler, Tioga, and Tompkins County. So we have several service providers that go out into the community, provide services in the individual's home. We also go into a school setting, out in the community, workplace. It really depends on where the services are needed. I'll talk a little bit about our referral process, but prior to that, I just want to talk a little bit about AVRE, what we do as far as a business goes. We are a private nonprofit agency, and we do what's called a hybrid model. So beyond the services that we provide, we also have a production company within our building. And in the production company, we produce copy paper, manila envelopes. We do a lot of private jobs for the government. We also have a small assembly where we, kind of do some packaging of batteries and things like that. And approximately 90% of the individuals that we hire back there are visually impaired. So our mission statement pretty much is, to create opportunities for success and independence with people who are blind or visually impaired. The services that we provide throughout the 9 counties, this kind of gives you a little idea of how everything works. If you see, it starts off, with the federal, the state commercial customers. We do get some state funding as well from the New York State Commission for the blind and physically handicapped. And then what, they don't provide for us, we do some fundraising. And then of course we have the production part of it that kind of comes full circle around to help us provide services, because all our services are at no cost to individuals out in the community if they qualify. So some of the services that we offer, we do have low vision examinations. We actually have a low vision clinic at our agency. We have an optometrist who comes in twice a month if need be and does the examination part of the low vision service. And then I follow up with them to try to find a low vision aid that would work for them to help them be able to access printed materials. We also look at, glare control, things like that. So it's really how they can use their functional vision, the remaining vision they have left, and what we can do to optimize that. We have functional vision assessments. They're similar to a low vision exam. The eye doctor is not present for that. I do the functional vision assessments. They are for an individual who would not be declared legally blind yet. So they come in, again, we're looking at their functional vision and determining if there is a low vision aid that would be recommended for them. Under the functional vision assessment, they do have to purchase the device if they feel, that it would be appropriate for them. We also do a follow-up to that, which is where we have one of our staff members. COVID has changed this a little bit. We've put these on hold, but one of the staff members, if they want somebody to come out, they'll go out and do a one-time assessment, kind of an environmental assessment. If they need their appliances marked, we do that, and we do provide them with $100 worth of, up to $100 worth of adaptive equipment. Of course, it's based on their needs and what their goals are going to be as far as equipment goes. Vision rehabilitation therapy, that's anything related to your activities of daily living. So cooking, house management, financial management, personal management, anything that an individual is doing on a daily basis. If they're having difficulty with that because of their vision loss, we go in, we do an assessment, we provide training, if we recommend adaptive equipment and provide that to them, we teach them how to use the adaptive equipment and teach them any kind of adaptive techniques so that they can perform their tasks individually and also, safely. That's a big thing for us, is safety. The orientation and mobility training, that is where, we have somebody who's an orientation and mobility therapist go out. Again, they do the assessment, determine what their needs are. They teach them how to navigate their environment safely, cross streets, navigate stairs. Employment services. So we have an employment specialist at our office, and that is usually a referral through the New York State Commission if somebody is looking for job placement. If they're having difficulty in their job, we can assist them, getting the right tools in there so that they can, work with their computer, or if they're having lighting issues, those type of things. But our employment specialist, she does resumes. She'll really do anything needed so that they can continue to work or get into the workforce, or if they're in school and kind of transitioning into the workforce. And then our Viewpoint retail store, that we have at our agency as well, and really anybody can come in off the street and purchase some equipment. We sell pretty much everything that we do provide to our consumers. There are some things that, like magnifiers and stuff, we don't just sell those outright because we would have to determine what strength magnifier they would need. So this kind of breaks down, this next slide here that I have, breaks down the low vision center a little bit. So because we have low vision exams and we have functional exams, usually when we get a referral, and referrals are done, they could be a self-referral, they can be from an eye doctor, a regular doctor, another agency. The number one thing is we have to receive their latest eye exam. Once we have the eye exam, we can then determine, where they would lie as far as, are they going to get the full gamut of services, or will they just be getting a one-time functional vision assessment and then the follow-up with, a clinician in the home. So for somebody who is, declared legally blind, they would come in, they would get their low vision exam. Dr. Lang is our eye doctor that comes in. They would also meet with me. Again, we would go through the low vision aids and devices, demonstrate them, see what works, see what's appropriate for them, and then also discuss. Most of them that are getting the low vision exam are also getting the vision rehab therapy and sometimes the orientation and mobility training. If they're not declared legally blind yet, then they would still meet with me. Again, look at the low vision aids. If one is determined to be appropriate for them and is working for them, they can then decide whether or not they would like to purchase something. So this I went ahead of myself, but describing the vision rehabilitation therapy, again, performing daily household tasks, managing personal finances, medication management, technology. A lot of stuff we do is, everybody has the smartphones, so iPhones, Androids, typing. There's a lot of talking typing programs that we work with individuals. And again, teaching them anything that we provide to them, whether it's just a basic talking watch, or if it's a talking labeler, we make sure they understand how to use it, if we have to mark it. So we go through everything with them, and we're usually meeting with them several times. So it's not just a one-time meeting after the assessment. It's, again, based on their need, but we may go out there 3 or 4 times, depending on, how much services they need in order, how many hours of services they need in order to gain that independence and safety. Again, the orientation and mobility, just orientating them to their environment, whether it's an indoor O&M, maybe they're having trouble, just an environmental assessment saying, throw rugs on the floor could be dangerous, the lighting in your bathroom, kind of doing that type of stuff. White cane training, that's not for everybody. That's not just what orientation and mobility is about. I wouldn't even say half the people that we work with are using a white cane, but if it's necessary, then that's something we would, make sure to teach them how to do. Kind of guide dogs, we don't do anything with them. However, if somebody is looking to get a guide dog, the orientation and mobility instructor has to be the one making that referral. So they would have to first receive orientation and mobility training, be presented as a good traveler with a cane, and then we refer to their school of choice. This goes over a little more about the employment services. So again, placement services, our employment specialist is helping with resume writing, interviewing techniques, communication skills, school to work transition, like I said, summer work programs. And we also do often have people come in, that are going through the work readiness, do sometimes work at our agency. We're not considered competitive employment, so that doesn't happen every time, but once in a while we will end up getting somebody from the Commission for the Blind to come in and work for our agency. Here's a picture of our retail store, and it shows some of the equipment that we may recommend to somebody, or that, like I said, somebody can just come in and purchase. Large print calendars, large print clocks, a lot of different talking devices, measuring cups that are easy for somebody to read. They have a large print, contrasted overlay, UV shields. That's really a big thing. A lot of times when people have low vision, they have some light sensitivity or they have veiling glare. So the UV shields are special tinted lenses. They come in all different colors. So they're similar to a pair of sunglasses, but they are specifically made for somebody that has low vision. Bump dots, they're what we use to mark a lot of the appliances. Of course, we use a lot of other things like Velcro and rough tape, and pretty much whatever we think would work for somebody, we try to make it work. So we do also have support groups. Prior to COVID, they were face-to-face support groups. We have one in Otsego County, which is at the Plains, and that was a pretty good support group. Sometimes we would have about 16 people in attendance. However, that stopped due to COVID. They are not opening that back up to us. That support group decided not to do anything over the telephone. I was facilitating a support group out of Tioga County, and that was done through Uber Conference. And then also our agency has a support group that we run in our agency in one of our conference rooms. Due to COVID, though, we have also started doing that through Uber Conference, and that's worked out pretty well. I do think people prefer the face-to-face. However, until things change, we'll be kind of stuck doing that. We do offer a Costello scholarship that is for high school students. They apply for that. I don't really do much with that, so I can't tell you too much in depth about it. But if somebody was interested or you knew of somebody, of course, we can, start a referral process for that. And then we make referrals, just like every other agency, to, outside sources based on the individual's needs. Because we do work with people, again, from birth to death. So all age ranges. Sorry, I keep hitting that button, I guess. So pretty much, I kind of reviewed the referral process. If there was somebody, that you were looking to refer to our agency, calling our agency, giving us as much information as you can, and then we can contact the individual ourselves and talk to them about, getting the I-report. If a release form needs to be signed, we usually just send that in the mail. And then, of course, if it comes from an eye doctor and we already get the referral from them, then we can, determine, okay, if it's showing they're legally blind by their visual acuities or their functional fields, then, we have to obtain then a report of legal blindness, it's called. So that's pretty much, I know it was kind of a quick review, but that's pretty much how our agency works. We do work pretty closely with, like I said, the New York State Commission. Anybody who is under the age of 55 years old and, they're still working or they're going to school, then that's what we do. So it pretty much depends on what the individual is and what their needs are.
Does anybody have any questions? Are there any income eligibility guidelines for someone to qualify?
No, because we're a nonprofit, so it doesn't matter. They can, we don't even look at income at all. The only eligibility requirement is their vision. So if, they have any kind of vision loss, like I said, if the legally blind is, federal definition of 20/200 with best corrected vision or visual field loss of less than 20 degrees. But we also, like I said, even if they're not legally blind, we do have the other service, which is the functional vision assessment. And then, if they want a follow-up appointment in their home, somebody will go out there, do a one-time meeting and provide them with adaptive equipment, make sure they know how to use everything. It's not, that's the services for the functional vision assessment. They're not really as in depth. I mean, it's really just a one-time meeting. And then again, going out to their home one time. Again, prior to COVID, we did do a lot of presentations, going out to different agencies, making the community aware of what, we have to offer.
The support group that's going to be at the Plains that is not resuming, is it going to not continue when COVID is over as well? Will it never come back?
No, we will. We're trying to get back in there. I've been trying to get in touch with an individual that is there. So because we have the 9 catchment area, we service, like, our providers kind of separate. So, some do 3, like I do Otsego, Delaware, and Tioga County. Otsego, Delaware and Tioga. So it really depends, what we can kind of get started, I guess, is as far as the COVID. They don't want us coming back in yet. So we're going to keep Ubering and are doing the Ubering conferences until we can move forward with that. But yes, it will definitely be back up. That was a big support group, 16 people, and anybody can come to that. So let me just say that. So you don't, if it's a family member, you don't have to be, legally blind or visually impaired yourself. If it's a family member and you're struggling with something, going on with a family member that is, they can come. So anybody is really welcome to those support groups.
Are there any other questions? Do you provide transportation services for those who need to attend the low vision or functional vision exam if they don't have their own means?
No, transportation is always a huge issue for, a lot of people, especially the people that we provide services to, because they can no longer drive. But no, we don't do any transportation at all. There are other low vision doctors. So we have the low vision clinic. We usually have people coming in from like Broome County or, Tioga, those counties. There's also a low vision doctor in Cooperstown, in Portland, and out in Elmira. However, the services would go through us. So if somebody wanted a low vision exam, we would, determine if they're eligible, do the whole assessment process. So you can't, somebody could just go get a low vision exam. I don't know how it works with Medicare paying for that. I know insurances do not pay for low vision devices. So if they go through our services, they get, a certain amount of money towards the low vision exam is, covered, and then they get a certain amount of money based on what program they're in towards that low vision aid. So usually they walk out of there with at least a handheld magnifier or something so that they're able to do some reading.
Any other questions? I don't see any other questions, so thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. And if anybody ever has any referrals, really the best thing is just to call our agency and we'll kind of help you through the process and, do what we need to do to get services out to them. Even if you're unsure of eligibility, we'll walk whoever through the process for that.
Lots of thank yous. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks for having me. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.